So what I like to do is I like to pose the question, can a point charge have a dipole moment? Okay, now let's just recall what our dipole is. So our dipole moment, so however, P is equal to the integral of r prime, the charge density d tau prime, and this essentially just gives us our total charge times some vector. Okay, so here we have Q times D. D is a vector which points from our origin to our point charge. Now let's consider that we have our three axes. It's X, Y, and Z. And we have a point charge which is situated at the origin. Okay, given by Q. And we want to know what the potential of this would be, or what the dipole moment would look like at some point P. Okay, so this is our observation point. Now, from the origin to our observation point is given as R. And what we can see here is that if the point charge is situated at the origin, then our dipole moment, P, is going to be equal to 0. Okay, so if the point charge located at the origin, it does not have a dipole moment. Now what I want you to do is to consider a similar configuration. We have our three axes, X, Y, and Z. And now this time what we're going to do is we're going to shift our point charge away from the origin. I'm going to locate it at some distance D away from the origin. So we've got some distance D between the origin and point charge, and it's located on the y-axis. Now we still want to determine what the potential would be at some point P, and if this point charge is going to have a dipole moment, these are points P. Similar to the other figure, we have our field vector, which is given by R. We have the separation vector now, which is given by R minus R prime. And we also have our R prime vector, and our R prime vector is going to be given by dy hat. Okay, so now what is our dipole moment for this configuration? Well, the dipole moment here is going to be P, is going to be equal to the distance times the charge, so we're going to have D times Q, and it's in the y hat direction. Okay, so a point charge can have a dipole moment. Okay, it just depends on where your point of reference is, or where you set your origin to be. We can see that here on the left hand side for this figure, the dipole moment is going to be 0 because the point charge is at the origin. Now if we displace that point charge by some distance d away from the origin along the y-axis, we see that we can actually create a dipole moment for this point charge. So it all comes down to where you set your point of origin to be.